Hey there. I recently got this yo-yo. They're pretty cool the way they spin and come back, though I'm not very good at them. This could be because I never put any practice into learning how to use one, or that this yo-yo is clearly broken and needs to be returned. Although I think it's because this one is very small and puny. See, this one has no innate chance of harming me at all upon use, and I still have all of my fingers, which is no fun. But I think my corporeal form here has an idea to solve that. And that idea is this: an 8-pound chunk of solid aluminum. This has a much higher chance of destroying me and the things around me. Very shiny too. I'm not very good with coming up with ideas, but after some thinking, I think I just about found a design that is worthy of such metal. You read the title, it's Bridget's Yo-Yo. And just look at it. Truly a testament to weapon design. Now, I've never played Guilty Gear, and I don't really care to. I just want that yo-yo. Like usual, there's no easy 3D model I can find of what I'm making, so I found a similar one off Etsy that I'll be loosely following. The yo-yo is made to look like a revolver cylinder, so the first thing to get done are the outer grooves. There's just one thing we need to get straight though. How am I going to machine this thing with no machines? I have no lathe or mill to carve it out. I thought that maybe I could use a file to get the outer grooves shaped, so I made some measurements, and after about 10 minutes of filing, I realized it wasn't a good idea. I decided something a bit more industrial was required, so the belt sander seemed like a good option. And it actually was, until the belt loaded up with aluminum. I thought that maybe I'd go back to my old pal the die grinder, and I tried a few different bits, but they kept filling up with aluminum, making them utterly useless. I tried cleaning them, but that resulted in a metal pick stabbing under my thumbnail. My last resort was this 2-flute bit, which is still stained from the greatsword foam incident, but it ended up just grabbing and chewing up the rim too much to be viable. I had just about given up hope until my dearest papa suggested we use a hole saw in the drill press. It was a crazy idea, but they were the shape I needed and seemed like a much more controlled option. So we strapped the chunk under the press and got to it. My dad thought it'd be a good idea to add some cutting oil, but all it did was smell like old tar and suffocated me. Smell aside, it was actually working shockingly well, and I had a really fun time standing there for about 13 minutes while a single cut was made. But hey, at least it was fun to watch. Damn, that was boring. Anyway, I needed to get the wedges out now. I decided to use a very accurate cutoff disc that would get them out perfectly. You couldn't really see what I was doing, so you'll just have to take my word on that. With the wedges out, it was actually starting to look like something. Although the grooves are a bit deeper than they should be, we'll call it an artistic touch. I still need to round and smooth the back parts here though, so that's next. After a refreshing drink, I went ahead and legally acquired some router bits. Keep in mind, they're router bits, meant to go on a router, which I don't have. That won't stop me from putting it on the drill press though. I mean really, what's the worst that could happen? We'll go with bit number 3 here, since it fits perfectly. When I first tried the bit, it was catching a bit more than I'd like, so I decided to max out the speed, and that's when I learned this press can spin at over 4,000 RPM. You know, I'm not scared of much in this world, but seeing a tungsten carbide bit rotating at over 4,200 times a minute about to collide with a solid block of aluminum while neither are really clamped on tightly, does make me question my choices. But oh well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Here we go. Wow, look at that. Who knew a high-speed bit would perform better at higher speeds? Every cut was going really well and much faster than the whole saw until the sixth and final cut, which is when I had finally gotten an answer to my question. What's the worst that could happen? Dearest viewers, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is the aluminum is in a recoverable state. The bad news, however, well, how do I put this? Bit number 3, it didn't make it. During the high-speed incident, bit 3's left edge tore off. I tried to finish the job on a lower speed, but it was no use. It had given me everything it had. Bit number 3 was with me for 6 days until the incident, and the video could not have been possible without it. Thank you, bit number 3, for everything you have contributed. You will not be forgotten, but remembered as a hero for braving the previously thought impossible. Official time of death, 7:28 p.m., February 17th, 2023. So, unfortunately, the bad news doesn't end there. For the next part, I need to lower both faces down a bit while keeping the edge raised. That would be a job for a CNC router, which again, I don't have. Lucky for me, my neighbor has one, so I went and acquired his services, and 2 weeks later, I got this. I know this is kind of cheating, but I don't want to hear about it. This was really my only option that didn't involve buying another machine. He ran it through the rock tumbler too, making it super smooth. Now, I bet you thought we were done with the drill press. Not a chance. We still have about 8 more holes to drill, the first being the center ones that don't go all the way through. Okay, so I fucked it up pretty bad. Looks like I wasn't even trying. But that's okay, we'll just say it's another artistic touch. Okay, now for the 6 holes that hold the bullets of this thing. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to shoot, but it'll still look cool. I'll need to make a pilot hole first. Okay, done. Now, I introduce to you the Doohickey 800. This bad boy is equipped with a turbo spring-loaded guide rod and like 5 tungsten carbide teeth. This thing will shred through any material in its path in seconds. Enough talk. Let's get this thing ripping and tearing. This thing sucks, dude. It catches all the time. Maybe if I had a bit of cutting oil it could help, but I doubt it. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Who knew the latent power of lubrication? Man, have I mentioned how bad that stuff smells? Ugh. Anyway, here's how it turned out. Looks good to me, so I'm gonna drill the rest of the pilots and then flush them out. You know, there's about 6 hours of work here, so I think that calls for another montage. Oh man, it's all coming together now. The last major thing to do before the final touches is to actually cut the thing in half. Now that that's finally done, we're in the home stretch. And, hey, what the hell is that? Oh, it must have run off. Anyway, while you weren't looking, I ended up drilling all the way through the middle since I didn't like how it was before. Where was I? Right. All that's left to do is paint, make the bullets and primers, then stick the halves back together via a rod and some glue. Really quick, before we start painting, I actually needed to bevel these edges. First I got some red paint, and seconds into painting, I ran out and had none left. After a quick run down to the store, I finished both sides up. After letting them dry for a day, I masked them up and finished painting the faces black. While I was waiting for those to dry, I started to work on the bullets and primers. A word of advice, when sanding things, do know that they get hot and that aluminum is an excellent thermal conductor. Bam, all done. They're not perfect, but nothing about this project is at this point, so they're good enough. Since bullet casings are made of brass, I got some brass. I'll only cut small discs out of it since you won't actually see the rest of the casing. I used the foam-stained bit on the drill press, not where it's supposed to be used, to carve marks on the brass. Again, not perfect, but it's good enough. The in-game Yoyo has custom text on the bullets, so what the hell, why not? Now I went ahead and glued the bullets and primers in, so now all I have to do is insert the rod. Here we go. Oh my god, it's done. It's perfect. Well, it's far from perfect, but it's done. It's done. Well, I think you know what that means, right? The town is like me, and there are quarters, only I'm not there, just watch from afar. There is nowhere to go back, nowhere to go, it's hard to know, me without me. Thank you so much for watching. A month and a half in the making, and I'm pretty damn happy with the result. Despite its imperfection, it's my greatest creation to date. Even though it can't spin very well, it shall make a fine decoration upon my wall. Maybe I'll revisit this yo-yo when I am better equipped with more machines. Well, until next time, fools. I can feel the light.